Welcome to Vision Plus and welcome to Senior for Mathematics. Today we are going to look at multiplication of complex numbers. In the previous videos, we have looked at addition of complex numbers, subtraction of complex numbers, and combined addition and subtraction of complex numbers. Make sure you check out before you proceed. Looking at multiplication of complex numbers, we are going to start with example 1. And in this concept, whatever we have been learning throughout is going to be significant in enhancing our understanding of multiplication. Example 1 says, multiply and simplify the following. Multiply and simplify the following. Solution for part A, which is 6 plus 8i times 4 plus 2i. The moment you see two brackets and there is nothing in between them, that is multiplication. Open brackets, there is a bracket, times another bracket. So let's multiply this. What do we do? Remember, when we are multiplying brackets that have more than one term, every term in each bracket has to multiply every other term in the other bracket. That means 6 here will multiply all the terms in this bracket, as well as 8i will also multiply all the terms in the other brackets. So we shall start by saying 6 times 4. Press the calculator. 6 times 4 is 24. And then again 6 times 2i. 6 times 2i is 12i. So we shall say here plus 12i. Now we are done with 6. So we go to 8i. 8i times 4. 8i times 4 is 32i. 32i. And again this 8i here times 2i. What is 8i times 2i? It is going to be the same as saying 8 times 2, it is 16. And then I times I, it is I squared. Because you're multiplying I times I. In indices, the base is I, which is the same. So you keep the base I. And then since it is a multiplication, you add the powers. These i's, they have 1 plus 1. They have powers of 1. That gives us I power 2, which is I squared. And then let's further simplify this. This will give us 24 plus, what is 12i plus 32i? We shall get 44i. Yes, 44i. Use the calculator. And then plus. Remember, we are to simplify. So plus 16. But what is I squared? We say that from Euler's property is the basis for complex numbers, that I squared is negative 1. So instead of I squared, then we shall put here negative 1. Why? Because I squared equals to negative 1. That is from that Euler's property. That means proceeding here now, we shall have 24 plus 44i. 16 times negative 1. 16 times negative 1 is negative. So here we shall have here minus 16. This will be equals to, if we collect the like terms, we shall say 24 minus 16 and then plus 44i. What is 24 minus 16? That is 8. Here we shall have 8 plus 44 plus 44i. This is the solution for part A. Going to part B, which is, part B is 6 plus 8i times 6 minus 8i. This equals to, again we are going to multiply the same way. There are two brackets and each one has more than one term. So we shall begin by saying 6 times 6, you get 36. Again 6 times negative 8i. Consider the sign before a number. This is negative 8i. 6 times negative 8i, it will give us negative 48i. Simply because 6 times 8 is 48. There's that negative an I. Now 6 is done, multiplying every term in the second bracket. Then you come to 8i. 8i times 6, they are both positive. 8i is positive, 6 is positive. That will give us a positive 48i. And again, 8i should multiply the other term, which is negative 8i. So first of all, you're multiplying positive 8i times negative 8i. So positive times negative, it first gives us negative. What about 8 times 8? It gives us 64. And then I times I, it gives us I squared. And you say this will be equal to 36. What is negative 48 plus 48? It is 0. Negative 48 plus 48 is 0. So these terms containing I are going to cancel out. This and this is 0. And then we proceed here. We shall have negative 64 I squared. But what is I squared? I squared is, substitute for it as negative 1. Why? This is simply from I squared equals to negative 1. Then we proceed so that we have the 36. Negative 64 times negative 1, it becomes positive 64. Then what is 64 plus 36? 64 plus 36 is 100. Here we shall have 100. And that is the multiplication for part B. Finally, going to part C, which is C, it is 3i times negative 2 plus 6i. There are two brackets. The first bracket contains only one term. So this one term has to multiply every other term in the next bracket. So 3i times negative 2. 3i times negative 2 is negative 6i. And then 3i times positive 6i. So 3i times 6i will give us, first of all, 3 times 6 is 18. I times I times I is I squared. I squared. This here gives us negative 6i plus 18. But what is I squared? I squared is negative 1, simply from Euler's property, which is the foundation of complex numbers, negative 1. We have substituted there. So this now implies that I will have negative 6i. Positive 18 times negative 1, it is negative 18. And therefore, the answer becomes negative 6i minus 18. So this is the solution to example 1 and the multiplication of complex numbers.